This is at the time when the cops show up. So right away, he puts all of this onto Malaya to deal with, and he takes off under the guise. He's got her car. All of the pieces of shit in that driveway, and he takes her brand new car. That's just control over her. He's marking his territory on her property. That's her car. So there's even control at work as this is going on. It's a way of keeping her from going anywhere at that point in time. Because there's what they're presenting the RCMP, but then there's what's really going on. Because there's something that we need to figure out that's going on between these two, Malaya and Danny. Think about how little, few roads and areas there are to search for a 4 and a 6-year-old that you say were just there one moment and the next they were gone and they walked out the door and you didn't see anything. How far then do you think that they could possibly go if that's the story that you're going to go with cops? There ain't no reason to be searching for fucking hours. There's always got to be a reason why it is that you're searching anywhere. You just don't go somewhere randomly hoping that you're going to get somewhere. There needs to be a reason. He said he did not look at the time. And this is so he's gotten up. He doesn't know what time it is, but all of a sudden it's like mid-afternoon. Not once has he checked the time, used his mobile device in which he stalked and got a hold of Malaya in the first place through Facebook dating. 2 weeks record time. You think he did that at home behind his gaming computer? I doubt it. It's on his goddamn cheapo phone. Dude be looking like Ernie from Bert and Ernie. I wonder why she said, Malaya said Daniel's father owned over 100 acres of land out near Barney's River, which is a wooded lot. Interesting that they would include this and she would use that. That tells me that there's a potential that he's up in that area and needed to be accountable because it came up. There's a reason why it came up. I want to know why. Is it just bullshit? Well, tuck that away into the back of your mind. So, let me see here. Regarding Thursday, old Danny said the kids did not go to school because Malaya thought Lily was sick. That's vague. For a guy who wants to claim that he does everything on behalf of Malaya. You don't know the state of their health, the reasons why they're not attending school, but you do know. They all left home around lunchtime and got gas at Circle K in Alma. Why are you guys going around anywhere altogether in that sense if somebody's sick? If the kids are sick, they need to stay home and be in bed and recover. They all left home around lunchtime and got gas at the Circle K in Alma, then went through the Tim Hortons drive-thru for food. Daniel said he thought the kids were sleeping. He ignores them anyway. You thought the kids were sleeping. They drove to Truro and went to Malaya's grandmother's house to do laundry and spent most of the day there. This is Daniel fucking this up, isn't it? They drove to Truro. This is Thursday. This isn't what they did Thursday. This is where he fucks it up and they have to recant it or note that he was, I consider, being deceptive. He was just pulling from experiential memory in that sense, and putting together a rigmarole story of things that kind of happened in the past just to suit his narrative in the moment. Well, he doesn't fucking pay attention to the time anyway. What does he care? What a fucking asshole. Oh, man. They drove to Truro and went to Malaya's grandmother's house to do laundry. Spent most of the day there, he says. They went shopping at Walmart and got food. They left their grandmother's around 9:30 and got home around 10:30. Then put the kids to bed. This is what he's saying happened to the cop. Okay? So right now, he knows that didn't fucking happen. You know that didn't happen. It's interesting when you read his initial reaction because he's trying to fill in what happened the night before the kids disappeared, the Thursday night, May 1st. What happened? And he's telling the cop a story of something that didn't happen whatsoever. It didn't even happen like that on Wednesday. They drove to Truro. Yeah. They left at her grandmother's house around 9:30 and got home around 10:30. Then put the kids to bed. Daniel said he thought Malaya put them to bed. Oh, I think she did. I think she might have put them to bed. Interesting how this asshole just can't remember anything. How much of an emergency do you think this has to be? It doesn't even seem like it's an emergency situation by the way that he's carrying on. And we know that. So wait for it. Daniel goes as far in his fabrication. There's a lot that you can tell in with this because it gives you a window in just how far he's willing to fabricate something that didn't happen. Usually your mind knows if that happened, and the more that you tell it, the more that you realize, oh, wait a second. No, I got that crossed up. Usually happens with months, not matter of like hours. Well, Danny's memory is that of like a 98-year-old. Selectively. Daniel said he thought Malaya put them to bed. He didn't know what they were wearing because they were underneath the covers when he checked on them. Doesn't even want to hazard a guess. Doesn't even want to hazard a guess. Wouldn't they be in the same thing that they were wearing when they went missing? Do you think? Wouldn't logic tell you certain things if things did happen? You could figure a way to answer the question instead of remain so evasive. He's not even trying. Daniel said he thought he went to bed fairly early that night and didn't wake up until it was light the next morning. He remembered getting an email that Malaya had marked the kids absent from school. It's a regular old Groundhog Day for him. He's like Bill Murray, isn't he? He's pulling from the script Groundhog Day. Daniel said he thought he went to bed fairly early that night and didn't wake up until it was late the next morning. Yo. He remembered getting an email that Malaya had marked the kids absent from school on his phone at around 6:18 on Friday. This is some just thing that pops up. This is from the woman that you sleep next to. And you're talking about her that this is like happening randomly. You don't want to talk into any detail about the what's or the why. He says he was using the flashlight on his phone to try to see in culverts, but he didn't see anything in the water. Doesn't tell you why he was doing that. He doesn't want to tell you. They talked about what happened on Wednesday and Thursday, and Daniel initially had the days mixed up, but then confirmed through online banking records on his phone that they had spent Wednesday in Truro with Malaya's grandmother and went to run errands. He needed his hand held. A little encouragement through something to corroborate his fucking claims that are otherwise false up until that point. Including Malaya's redacted on Thursday. In addition to what he provided in his previous statements, he said the following about Thursday. Daniel said he had Facebook messages from Malaya at around 12:07 p.m. She was talking about McDonald's toys. He said he might have been out in the yard playing with Jack and Lily when she sent those messages. Oh, I'm sure you were. Out playing with them. Could you imagine Danny playing with kids? That's like Freddy Krueger. They all went to Malaya's redacted and got there around 12:50. Malaya went to get and stayed in the car with the kids. All three kids were sleeping, so it was quiet. He looked at his banking information on his phone. I wonder, I don't take any of this to be necessarily true, like especially his explanations for it. The kids are all excited at the wrong times and then sleeping in the middle of the day for absolutely no fucking reason. It's such a bizarre way to tell you that, you know, you don't want to be accountable. They keep relying on this sleep scenario all over the place. He looked at his banking information on his phone and remembered that they went to Dollarama and Lawton's on the way home. They all went into Dollarama and only Malaya went into Lawton's. Daniel said Malaya would have talked to her mother later in the day because her mother called 2 or 3 times every day. Her grandmother also probably called. So you think that's true? You think there's truth to Daniel's claim about Malaya's mother calling 2 or 3 times a day? That's a lot of times for Daniel to have to go hands-on with the old lady. Hardly 2 or 3 times every day to somebody that Daniel wants to tell that she never got along with and she has a poor relationship with and all of this. Doesn't make any sense there, Danny. The only new information provided was that they stopped at Acropolis to pick up some food. They talked about his relationship with Malaya. He said the following. This is all redacted. Daniel said he always takes his phone when he leaves the house, and his timelines will say he was home. Like, Daniel said he always takes his phone when he leaves the house, except when he goes to search for the kids on Friday after the RCMP were called. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that synchronistic? What a fucking liar. Oh my God. What are you saying, my friends, my chat? He got yellow nylon rope and duct tape to build swings to go along with that pool Janie was raking for. Oh, yeah? Yeah, it was newer rope. But considering the kids are missing that torn tarpaulin roof that he had on the playhouse and the old rope that were hanging with the old swings, well, could have been used to bundle up packages. Lynn, Rex, what part division of the CAF were you part of? Oh, he's not the Canadian Forces. He's in the U.S. in Fort Collins. He was actually in the Army. Only Rex misrepresents his time served. He wants to call it him having an honorable discharge when, in fact, he's not. And he does this so that he can go around and claim benefits and things like this. Stolen valor. He's not in the Canadian Forces, though. Does anyone know or worked out the names on the notepad found in the small black box by the searches? If I remember that the 3 names written found by the searchers. all the other ones with Daniel, the Geocache box, I mean? Oh, I don't know. Daniel probably geocaches for gay sex. That's my guess. That's probably his uncle's. It's probably a geocache on Grindr. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, baby. Fucking roast season is on. Yeah, Bonds. Let's see. Where did I see that comment? Neuro VX, what's up? Bonds a DM. Let me get this off. Let's go. You want to see the knot again? You want to see the knot again? Why does it do that? Why are you doing that to me? There we go. That's why. Let's have a look at you, Danny boy. Oh. Listen to how... Look about how pretentious this asshole is. This is before he knew that he was becoming Canada's newest member of the sex-offender-registry. Danny's soon to be RSO, making Janie proud. I love how they get him to do these little reenactment scenarios. Yeah, would you mind just walking in front and doing this for our camera? Can you imagine this fucking idiot? Like, dude, it tells you that he really needs them to help build a story on his behalf in all of this. Imagine being asked to do this. You know, you're traumatized in this sense, and they're trying to get some B-roll footage off of you. Danny, go walk in front a couple times. Yeah, just show us about where, and we'll just get it on camera so people have a better idea. Mm-hmm. It's the exact things that cops go out and do with suspects when they take them out to the field. Getting used by the faceless extension of a federal agency, funded by the Canadian taxpayer, influenced by politics, and work hand in hand all the time with the RCMP. We do it. They go to each other's weddings, dude. They're all pals. Don't you have a reason to be in front of the camera? You don't need to be walking and strutting and posing, making it look like you're emotionally affected by this situation. Guys, oh man, it's just... none of this really bothers me. It's just another water bouncing off the lake. How does that go again? Just water off a duck's back. But now, actually, you know what? Come to think about it, I am being bothered, and I'm getting some death threats. But the RCMP don't want to tell me who or where that they're coming from. So technically, it's not even a death threat. Isn't that how fucking hilarious this is? You know, like... You know, like Mitch Williams, for example, Wild Thing, who gave up that fantastic home run to Joe Carter way back in '93, would get death threats after he gave up the World Series. You think the cops? How do you think that went down? So let me get this right. You got in front of the CBC, Daniel. You told the cops you were getting death threats. When they asked you about it, you used the RCMP to add some sort of credibility to it, as though they contacted you, like they came in the tip line, that they tipped themselves off that they were going to unalive you in some sense and bring harm to you, but the RCMP won't tell you who or what, and they can't. They don't know where it came from, but somehow that's supposed to be a death threat. What a fucking dummy. Dude, you expose yourself on the CBC in this interview. You're so stupid. That's why it's worth getting an entire hour, releasing 7 minutes, and having people just see how horrible the circumstance is. You're so desperate. You have proven yourself to say almost anything, no matter how suspicious it makes you look. Somehow... somehow in this situation, because it's you, it means that you're somehow innocent of whatever it is that happened to Jack and Lily. What is